The Mason building. YouTube video. How you doing? I always wonder what was in there.
What's up?
I always wonder what was in there. This is the Masonic building. Yeah.
And
what do you guys do?
Lots of meetings.
Yeah. About what? Like what?
Just business and a lot. We do a lot of fundraisers for the community and community events and stuff like that.
Cool. I like that. So I'm an animal rights activist. I'm out here talking about animals.
Oh, okay.
So
That's different for Gettysburg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you have any time, come out and you know, if you want, I could ask you a couple questions. So I fight for animal rights. I think that animals should have rights. And yeah, thanks. I don't need this out here, so I should close this and put it in my bag. I have a couple of things in my That's not true, man.
First of all, yes, he broke back across the river. That is destroyed. That's the second part. He did very well what was happening. In addition to that, that's great, two great pictures.
Did I record a video? Yeah. I don't know if I hit record or not.
So Lee came up with a flag. He marched over to Maryland.
How you doing? Can I ask you guys a few questions?
Well, I could get up to Pennsylvania.
So I need to look a little bit more into it, but there's different rules for animal abuse when it comes to birds. If you compare it to other livestock. So like birds have even less rights. But I want to dig into like more specifics about that. Like what's the difference really? Because I want to be able to tell people about that and educate people about the difference. Like there's a whole hierarchy of rights that we give animals, and it doesn't really make much sense. Here's the other delivery guy. Of course it's going to be really loud because it's a refrigerated truck. So, what rights do you think we should give animals? Why do you think that there's such a big difference between different ones? Why do you think we made those decisions? We made those decisions only because it benefits us. This person does not know how to drive either. The back is all smashed in too, so clearly they don't know how to drive. When you're too defensive as a driver, that can cause accidents too. You gotta move when you gotta move. And some people just sit still, and like, that's not good to do sometimes. You gotta move. When it's like a merge lane, or you're supposed to yield, that doesn't mean stop. If you can yield and keep going, keep going. Hey man, how's it going? Can I ask you a few questions? He was jamming out. He's flying on that little scooter. He's got his turbo button pushed, engaged. He needs to get like a F1 fin on the back of it, and then he can enable his DRS. That would be cool. Push a button in, like the wing opens on the back, and then you could go a little faster on your scooter. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I didn't eat any breakfast this morning. There's got to be an editing software that cuts your video, cuts like the silent moments out of your videos. Is that a thing? It's got to be. Does anyone know like good editing software to use? Because I don't know. I want to get more into like the content creation and making videos to an extent. But I don't want to, it takes a long time to edit videos. I don't really have the time to do that. So I might look at outsourcing that to somebody else if I can film the general content and then have somebody else edit it. Can I ask you guys some questions now? Can I ask you a few questions for my YouTube channel? Yeah? Yeah, they'll just take a couple minutes. Do you want to hold the mic and talk into the mic?
Okay.
So I'm Jake. Mackenzie. Are you a local, or what brings you guys to Gettysburg?
We're from Ohio.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So we've been here 3 times so far.
Yeah, it's a cool town.
He's a history buff.
Nice, yeah. So how do you guys feel about animals? Like animals? Yeah. Do you have any pets?
A cat and 2 dogs.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got a puppy too. Would you agree that they have like their own personalities and they have their own experiences of the world? Definitely. They can feel love and pain. So, how do you feel about animal abuse?
Yeah, not one of the strong suits.
Yeah, you would be totally against that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah. So do you think that there's animal abuse in animal agriculture?
Not sure.
Yeah, so like in factory farms, would you be open to watching a little bit of that footage from factory farms? I can show you right now. So this is the dairy industry. The first part, everyone thinks that cows just produce milk. The first part of the process is actually forcibly impregnating the cows. So they take the semen from a bull and they force it into a female cow.
Oh shit.
So then after 9 months, like a human, she has the baby, the first day, they take the baby away. And they're maternal animals, just like humans are. So when you take a baby away from the cow, they're not happy about it, and they cry, and
that's sad.
You can see them chasing after them. And this happens everywhere. Big farms, little farms.
That's horrible.
So right from the beginning, we're not. They can't give consent to being forcibly impregnated,
Right.
and then taking their babies away from them the day they're born or a couple of days after they're born, and that is inflicting emotional trauma and emotional abuse. And then we just leave them locked in cages their whole life. The babies, when they're male, they can't be impregnated and produce milk, so they just kill the males right away. They send them right to the slaughterhouse as babies. So that's an electric shock. That's supposed that's humanely stunning them. You can see it burning them, and it doesn't work right the first time, so they have to do it multiple times a lot of the time.
That is horrible.
And then if they're a female, they forcibly impregnate them every year, take their baby away, steal their milk from them until they can't get them pregnant anymore. And then when they're not able to get them pregnant anymore, they send them to the slaughterhouse for meat, for cheap meat.
That's horrible. That
So
makes me sad.
that's just the dairy industry. And then this is part of the chicken and egg industry. This is free range, cage free, free range.
That's nuts.
But they cram them in there and they grow so quickly because of all the antibiotics and like the hormones, and they try to just get as much meat out of them as they can. They're treated as a product. They're not treated as an animal. So do you eat animal products, eggs and dairy and cheese?
Yeah.
Would you agree that this is basically abuse?
Yes.
So if your morals are telling you that you're against animal abuse, but you're giving these industries your money and you're paying them to do these things, you're in a way responsible for animal abuse in these industries. So have you ever heard of living vegan?
Yes.
So what would living vegan mean to you?
Sorry, I'm still watching.
Yeah. So this is how they efficiently slaughter chickens. Normally, the first thing they go through is like an electric water bath that stuns them. Then they go through this belt that gets cutting their heads, slitting their throats. Sometimes they go through the electric stun bath and it doesn't work right, so they're not stunned. And then when they go through the next part where it cuts their throat, they move a little bit so it doesn't kill them. So it cuts their throat, but they don't die. So after that, they go into a tank of like hot water. So some of them actually get boiled alive. That's how they die. So that's considered humane. As long as there's like a percentage that is under whatever threshold they say is okay, humane, then it's not as big of a deal. So birds have less rights than other livestock too. There's like a whole like hierarchy of rights that we give animals. And I'm just out here trying to show people that what we're doing to some of these animals, and like we don't realize what we're paying for.
Right.
So even grass-fed, free-range cows,
That don't matter.
so they're still locked in a shed most of the time, but locked in a little cage, and then they cut the grass and they bring the grass inside and feed it to them inside. So they're not. People think grass-fed, they're out in a field eating grass and stuff. They're not. It's just marketing to get you to buy their products. So if you live vegan, it's a stance against animal oppression.
Right.
So it's basically boycotting these industries, and you can vote with your dollar every time you buy a meal or you go to the grocery store. So if you're against animal abuse and you're against these industries, then to align your actions with your morals, you should live vegan and try to buy the vegan products, because those products don't rely on animal abuse. So even with fish, some people say fish are the worst because we pull them out of the water and they pretty much drown in the water. So it would be like taking a cow or chicken and putting them underwater to kill them. So they could suffer for over 20 minutes. They like suffer in the air. And then all the other stuff that we catch with these giant nets, they catch sharks, dolphins, everything. Like, it's not like they're targeting specific fish.
Right.
So the fishing industry is pretty crazy. So, and then for fur and other animal products that they experiment on, that's what living vegan is about. Not just like a diet and just being like plant-based, but it's more about the holistic approach with, beauty products and clothing and all that kinds of stuff too. So for feathers, for pillows and blankets and stuff, yeah, they used to take all the feathers off the geese just to put them in pillows.
That's horrible.
So what's stopping you from living vegan?
I've never tried it.
Yeah, would you be open to giving it a try? Like, that's the best thing about being vegan. Then you're not a hypocrite anymore, because most people are against animal abuse, but they're paying for it.
Yeah.
The industries don't want you to know this. These are baby chicks. When they're male baby chicks, they just send them into a grinder the first day of life. They're a waste product because they can't lay eggs, and they don't grow as quick as the meat chickens.
Right.
So it would cost too much money to keep them alive, so they just kill them. If they don't grind them up alive like that, sometimes if they don't have a grinder, other smaller operations, they either put them in a bag and suffocate them, or some farms even with pigs and cows, if they can't afford to put them down, then sometimes they just starve them. They just don't feed them and water, and they just die, and then they just dispose of them. Like, that's horrible. It's really crazy. So they put them in this machine that just holds them, and then it's like shoots them up with like antibiotics and stuff. And now they've genetically modified chickens to be different colors. So like the males will be different colors than the females, so it's like easier for them to sort. It's just the way that these industries evolve. They're always trying to find a better way to make it like more efficient, to make more money, and it's always at the cost of the animals. So it's really crazy if you think about it. They're trying to figure out more efficient ways to kill these animals. Like they try to grow them faster, to kill them when they're younger, like just for our benefit, and they never think about the benefit of the animal. Like, so I can give you a little bit more information here.
Yeah.
There's some other, if you want to take a picture of this is my YouTube channel, so you can see our conversation and other conversations like this. And then these are different films that will show you. Dominion is what we were just watching. Pignorant will show you what happens in a pig slaughterhouse, they actually kill most pigs in gas chambers. They stun them in. So yeah, it's more efficient than doing one at a time. They put like 5 of them in a cage and like lower them down into a area that's they pump gas into, and it suffocates them, and they scream and they cry. It's like a holocaust. It's literally a animal holocaust. Game Changers and What the Health will give you information like on your health. Conspiracies about religion and living vegan, and Challenge 22 would be your best resource if you want to start living vegan now. They'll give you information every day, recipes, and you can talk to a nutritionist, and they'll make sure that you're getting all your nutrients and calories, everything you need. So definitely check some of that stuff out, and I'll give you some stuff here too. You can have that.
It's called a pamphlet.
And you can take one of these as well. And thanks for talking to me for a few minutes. And
Thank you.
yeah. Alright guys, that was great.